she is now on the Arby's payroll, is what is happening. And maybe Arby's is going to snap back to relevance now. Here she is in the new shirt that we saw her in this weekend. Hot girls eat Arby's. And apparently sizes small and large have already sold out on the Arby's web. This is a big day for Arby's.
She didn't just step into the spotlight, she dragged it over, cranked it to full power, and dared anyone to look away. For years, Sophie Cunningham was the player you noticed for her hustle, her toughness, and her refusal to back down from anyone. She was the one diving for loose balls, getting in people's faces, and making her presence felt in ways that didn't always show up on the scoreboard. But lately, something shifted. She's not just playing in the WNBA, she's taking over the conversation around it, and she's doing it with a mix of skill, swagger, and strategy that you almost never see come together in one player. In a league that's constantly battling for mainstream attention, Sophie didn't sit around waiting for the marketing machine to pick her as the next big thing. She took matters into her own hands. Every time she walks into an arena, it's a moment. Whether it's the way she's dressed, the way she carries herself, or the energy she radiates before the ball even tips. On the court, she's intense and intentional. Off it, she's magnetic and unapologetic. The numbers might not scream superstar, but the impact, that's undeniable. From gritty role player to viral sensation, Sophie's rise has been a masterclass in how to build a brand without losing your authenticity. She's locking down opponents one night and locking in brand deals the next, proving she can dominate both the game and the conversation around it. And somewhere in between the highlight plays, the fiery confrontations, and the laugh out loud TikToks, she's managed to do something no one expected: shift the culture. This is the story of how one player turned herself into the WNBA's most talked about star, and how one unforgettable Arby's shirt lit the match. Before the headlines, the viral moments, and the brand deals, Sophie Cunningham was known for one thing: grit. When she first came into the league, nobody was talking about her as the face of a franchise or the kind of player who would dominate off the court. She was the grinder, the one who played with her elbows out and her heart on fire. Coaches loved her because she did the dirty work, the hustle plays that don't make highlight reels but win possessions. She was diving into crowds for loose balls, fighting for rebounds she had no business getting, and hounding opponents on defense until they cracked. Her role wasn't glamorous, but it was essential. What made Sophie stand out even then was the way she treated every possession like it mattered more than the last. You could feel her intensity from the moment she checked into a game. She played like someone who knew her minutes weren't guaranteed, like she had to earn her spot every single night. It wasn't about the box score, it was about setting a tone, the kind of tone that says, if you're on the court with me, you better match my energy or get left behind. And that edge didn't just make her valuable, it made her unforgettable to the people paying attention. But the truth is, nobody stays in that box forever, not if they have bigger ambitions. Sophie wasn't satisfied with being known as just a scrappy role player. She knew she had more to offer, and while most players wait for an opportunity to prove it, Sophie decided she was going to create her own. She didn't just want to be respected, she wanted to be noticed. She wanted to own the room before the first whistle blew, and as we'd soon see, she was about to take that hunger and flip her entire career on its head. The turning point came on June 17th in a game against the Connecticut Sun, a night that would cement Sophie Cunningham as more than just a player. It started with a hard, uncalled poke to the eye on Caitlin Clark under the rim. The arena collectively gasped. The whistle stayed silent, and before anyone could process what had happened, Sophie was already in motion. She stormed across the paint like a lightning strike and shoved JCS Sheldon straight to the floor. No hesitation, no second guessing, pure, unfiltered instinct. The refs called a flagrant and tossed her from the game, but the damage, or maybe the impact, was already done. That shove wasn't about frustration, it was about sending a message. It told the league, you don't mess with our players, you don't mess with our star, and you definitely don't mess with Sophie Cunningham. The crowd roared, the Indiana bench erupted, even Clark, still blinking through the sting in her eye, nodded in approval. In that instant, Sophie became the embodiment of her team's backbone. And the internet? It exploded. Clips of the shove flooded timelines, racking up hundreds of thousands of views within hours. Fans praised her loyalty and toughness, calling her the kind of teammate every player dreams about. Sports talk shows replayed the moment on loop, debating whether it was over the line or exactly what the WNBA needed more of. But here's the thing, it wasn't just the shove that made Sophie go viral, it was what it represented. An athlete willing to risk her own stat line, her own paycheck, and even her own reputation determination to stand up for her team. It was raw, it was real, and it was the spark that transformed her from a gritty competitor into a must-watch star. Just when the dust from the viral shove started to settle, Sophie Cunningham pulled off a move that had nothing to do with basketball, but everything to do with star power. It happened in Chicago before a game against the Sky. The tunnel was packed with cameras, media, and fans waiting to catch a glimpse of players arriving. Then Sophie appeared and the atmosphere shifted. She walked in wearing a tight white tee, boldly declaring, "Hot girls eat Arby's," paired with a short black miniskirt and knee-high boots. Heads turned instantly. It wasn't just an outfit, it was an announcement. Within minutes, the photos were everywhere. Social media lit up, sports blogs picked it up, and influencers were reposting her fit like it was the Met Gala red carpet. But what most people didn't realize right away was that this wasn't some random fashion flex. It was a calculated brand move. Weeks earlier, Sophie had posted a TikTok reviewing Arby's, and the video blew up. The fast food giant noticed and moved quickly, sealing a partnership deal. That tunnel walk wasn't just a style statement, it was sponsored. By the end of the day, Arby's had sold out of the shirt in small and large sizes. Sports outlets that usually ignore WNBA tunnel fits were running headlines about Sophie. Fans weren't just talking about her game, they were talking about her image, her confidence, and the fact that she'd turned a fast food slogan into a viral sports moment. It was smart, bold, and just a little bit rebellious. The perfect mix for someone rewriting the rules of how a WNBA player can market herself. While others talk about growing the game, Sophie proved you can do it while cashing checks, making headlines, and looking unstoppable doing it. If you really want to understand why Sophie Cunningham's star is burning so hot, you have to step off the hardwood and into her TikTok feed. It's not polished PR clips or heavily staged photo shoots. It's raw, chaotic, and completely her. One minute she's dancing in the locker room with teammates, the next she's flexing in the gym, and a few swipes later she's roasting referees with nothing but a sarcastic smirk and a perfectly timed edit. It's part behind the scenes reality show, part hype reel, and all Sophie. That unfiltered energy is her superpower, and it's exactly why she keeps gaining followers by the thousands. She doesn't act like she's above the fans or too busy to share the goofy human side of the game. She lets people in, showing the sassy moments, the sweat, the glamour, and the grind, and sometimes that openness comes with a cost. Case in point, the WNBA slapped her with a $500 fine after she posted a post-game TikTok criticizing the officiating. She didn't scream or throw shade directly, she let her sarcasm and editing skills do the talking. The league didn't appreciate it, but the internet sure did. The clip racked up over 1.3 million views in just a few days. Fans flooded the comments to back her up, tagging the league and praising her for saying what so many were thinking. What should have been a penalty turned into a PR win, boosting her image as one of the few players willing to speak her mind without hiding behind safe, corporate-approved answers. That $500? Sophie treated it like an investment in authenticity, and it paid off. Every post, every clip, every viral moment is building her brand brick by brick. In a league where many play it safe, Sophie Cunningham is playing bold, and people can't get enough. What most people see on game day, the fiery plays, the viral moments, the tunnel walk confidence, is only half of Sophie Cunningham's value to the Indiana Fever. The other half happens behind the scenes, in the huddles, in the locker room, and during those in-between possessions where leadership matters most. She's not the kind of player who disappears when she's not in the starting five. Whether she's on the floor or on the bench, Sophie is loud, locked in, and laser-focused on lifting her team. During warm-ups, she's the one bouncing around, hyping up rookies and making sure the energy is high. In games, you'll see her on the sideline, standing up, clapping, and shouting instructions like an assistant coach in sneakers. She notices mismatches before they happen, calls them out, and isn't afraid to pull a teammate aside mid-possession to straighten out the play. That's not just passion, it's experience, and her teammates trust it. When someone's rattled, Sophie's there in an instant, either cracking a joke to loosen the tension or giving a quick word to lock them back in. It's a rare balance. She can be savage in her demands, but supportive in her delivery. The vets respect her, the younger players lean on her, and even stars like Caitlin Clark feed off her energy. Kelsey Mitchell has praised her presence, and it's clear that when Sophie speaks, people listen. She might not be the face plastered on every Fever billboard, but make no mistake, she's one of the driving forces behind the team's identity. And in a league where chemistry can make or break a season, Sophie's role as the emotional anchor is every bit as important as the points she puts on the board. By now, Sophie Cunningham has made it clear she's not here to blend in. She's here to stand out, shake things up, and rewrite the playbook for what a WNBA star can be. She's built like a machine, dressed like she owns the runway, and talks with the kind of confidence that turns heads in every room she enters. Her presence is sharp, her timing is perfect, and her ability to command attention goes far beyond the box score. That swagger hasn't gone unnoticed. When Jeannie Buss, the co-owner of Women of Wrestling, personally reached out with an offer to bring Sophie into the ring, it was proof her influence had crossed over into entirely new arenas. Literally. Most players spend their careers hoping for a shoe deal or a commercial spot. Sophie's getting calls to step into professional wrestling, where charisma is just as valuable as physical power. It's a sign that her brand has become bigger than the game itself. What makes this rise so impressive is how naturally it's unfolded. She hasn't reinvented herself to fit some marketable mold. She's simply amplified who she already is. The grit that defined her early years is still there. It's just now packaged with style, humor, and a social media presence that connects directly with fans. From TikTok chaos to brand deals with national chains, from heated on-court confrontations to viral fashion moments, Sophie is showing the league a blueprint for the modern athlete. She's not waiting for the spotlight to find her, she's wearing it, owning it, and making sure it never dims. And for the WNBA, that's the kind of star power you can't manufacture. Sophie Cunningham's journey isn't just about basketball, it's about transformation, influence, and redefining what it means to be a star in today's game. She's gone from a gritty role player fighting for minutes to one of the most talked about figures in the WNBA, not because she padded her stats, but because she built a presence no one can ignore. Every shove, every tunnel walk, every unfiltered TikTok post has added another layer to her brand. A brand rooted in authenticity, boldness, and a refusal to play by anyone else's rules. In a league that's still carving out its space in the mainstream sports world, Sophie is proving you can be more than an athlete. You can be a cultural figure, a marketing powerhouse, and a leader all at once. She's changing how fans connect with players, how brands see women's basketball, and how the game itself is marketed to the world. This isn't manufactured hype. It's the natural result of someone being unapologetically themselves and refusing to blend into the background. The truth is, we're not just watching a hot streak or a good season. We're watching the evolution of a player who knows exactly what she's doing and exactly where she's going. Sophie Cunningham is living proof that star power isn't just about numbers. It's about impact, presence, and the ability to make people care. And right now, whether you're a diehard fan or just discovering the WNBA, one thing's certain: if you're not watching Sophie, you're missing the best show in the league.